Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 18th of June. So, looking at the markets for today, well, we've got two lots of news coming out, which could give a bit of a kicker. Initially, at 8:30, we've got the Swiss National Bank monetary policy assessment and press conference. So that's 8:30 now. Goodness knows what they're going to do. No one ever knows. We'll see, but it is not expected to cut interest rates any further. They're already at minus 0.75, so not expected any further cuts there. But whether they do anything else to try and devalue the Swissy, we'll see. But be aware that's at 8:30. That can have knock-on effects onto the euro as well, so we need to be a bit wary this morning on that. Aside of that Swissy, at 12 o'clock we've got the Bank of England meeting, asset purchase facility, etc. That asset purchase facility is expected to be increased from 645 billion to 745 billion. It looks like Sam's going to lend them 100 billion there as well of our own money. Aside of that, then they've got obviously the facility votes in terms of all the voting should be happening, and the bank rate votes, etc., which is expected to all come in and leave interest rates untouched at 0.1. We'll see, but it's as I say, it's the asset purchase facility is the main thing that's expected to change there. But that's at 12 o'clock, so the pound could be a bit iffy this morning. Just be aware of that. Aside of that, ADP non-farms, that's Canada. They're a week behind, aren't they, or something like that. Anyway, we'll ignore that. Nothing else. Right, let's get cracking and look at the technicals then. So euro dollar starting off with here. Well, yesterday ended up down day, little sort of spinny top, and we've seen a sort of a bounce. It's sort of just hanging in to holding onto this daily 500 moving average as I speak. We had a divergence at the absolute tops there. It's not really done that much, and I did wonder yesterday when we started breaking through whether it had run down to that daily 21, but did it? No, it's holding its own, so it doesn't really want to yield too much. It sort of found some support, ironically, on that 4-hourly 21, and that was that. And it's holding on to that sort of area. Yes, it did pitch below it actually, but hanging in there. Probably a bit of divergence over the absolute lows there, sort of. I don't know. Maybe there's some slight divergence over the lows there, holding it. Either way, when you come up to the down to the 60-minute time frame, what we've got confirmed here on this time frame is this higher low that's been confirmed this morning. As I say, we've got the Swiss at 8:30 speaking. It can have a knock-on effect. Looking, I like to pop a trend line on things. Looking at trend line wise, if we it's not going to work for me right now. Let's try again. Here we go. If we can get a trend line sitting on this, it would be good. There we go. So if we get sort of a breakdown of this level, maybe we'll have another run down as we saw yesterday, and that 500 will eventually fell on the dailies. We'll see this sort of 112.03 area run. Otherwise, well, with the higher low, it started off bullish, but there's still plenty to stall it, that 60-minute 50, etc. But if it breaks through that, well, then maybe a free rein on towards yesterday's highs. So that's the euro dollar. The pound, from a daily picture first, what we're looking at here, a bit of a mess. Yesterday it just found support back into its daily 21 and 100, just didn't let it through there. It looked weak at one stage, and did wonder if it had pulled back further, but it just wouldn't do it. So there you go, it tipped down a little bit more, but just not wanting to do it. Where to from here? Well, it's consolidated where it is. We've got news out then at 12 o'clock. It just may pitch from pillar to post a little bit this morning, but not giving any clues on this time frame anyway. It's just consolidating at this stage. So that's the pound. Dollar yen rolled yesterday a bit. It had been consolidated for at least a couple of days. I looked at it yesterday morning, and yesterday afternoon it was looking mostly the same, and then eventually started rolling, and it continued in that path. It's not quite down to double bottoms here, but not far off it. catching the other side of the market. The dollar's being bought a little bit there. It's softened up a little bit, and again, a bit like the euro, really. It's just popped in a higher low on the hourly time frame here. Got an untouched pivot above, which may create some draw. If it can hang on to these gains post 8 o'clock, we may see that push up from that direction. Alternatively, as with our drawn on the euro with a trend line along the lows here, really the break of that downside, well, for the opt-in for maybe the daily S2, dare I say it, but and those prior lows way back from over here. But yeah, it does look soft, the dollar against the yen at this stage. Okay, Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar consolidation day again yesterday didn't do anything, just a doji bar there. It's since then the unemployment change wasn't quite what they wanted, and I drew this little old wedge on yesterday, and well, it's broken that little wedge now to the downside a little bit, but then recovered somewhat. It has been one of the stronger pairings. It's perhaps it's just going to now go into a range trade as opposed to that wedge or a wider range trade. We'll see. Managed to recover some of those early losses there. Let's have a look down the time frames here. Well, it had put lower highs, lower lows in through into that. Even before that, it dropped in a lower high, a couple of lower highs. But well, arguably it's pulled back and now changed and put a higher low in, but it's not really particularly clear. For the upside then, would be looking at a break of that 60.50, but even then it may just get choked into the prior highs there. To the downside, well, it's not after such a tight old day yesterday. The pivots are quite tight, so maybe we will see a move towards that S2 if we see these markets moving together. If they're not, I think the Aussie as it stands, one of the stronger pairings, may be best left. Canadian dollar looking soft. You always say Canadian dollar, US dollar, Canadian, US looking soft against Canadian dollar. Not really managed too much so. Coming down the time frames here again, this is another one that's just got into consolidation. With the whether that ADP non-farm employment change number at 130 does anything to this, we'll see. It is quite a low key number at the moment, and it is mostly actually ADP numbers. They're just so off. Coming down to the 60-minute, and you can just see the range it's dancing in at the moment. I drew this trend line on yesterday. Yep, it broke that, and eventually, well, it's pushed up back towards those highs. Today could be just doing the opposite, just coming back down towards the lows at 35.21. Bit messy yesterday at times, but there we are. So that's the Canadian dollar. Nothing much to add to that. Oil. So oil, let's have a look here then. Oil's just continually to consolidate here as well. Look, it's very range bound at this stage. Not really doing too much. Trying to pip down. Not really too interested in this until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. It may be shaping up for a break of a trend line. I'm still looking for perhaps another move back up on the oil, but it did do quite a good one earlier in the week there. It broke what I was looking for after 2 o'clock, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It just rallied and rallied, but we'll see. At the moment we're just in a consolidation mode, but that would be a look and see after 2 o'clock this afternoon when the oil, West Texas oil, is traded properly. Futures, let's have a look at the S&Ps. So S&Ps daily wise, what we're looking at, this is the S&P E-mini futures, and well, yesterday little doji bar, little up and down bar day yesterday, and it's really ugly now on the 4-hourly here. It sort of spoilt things a bit. At one stage it looked like we'd see a continuation through the rest of this week and push up back towards those prior highs, but no, perhaps not. It's rolled over a bit, bouncing at the last hour or so, a couple of hours, last 4 hours actually. It's managed to bounce here, but doesn't look too sure-footed where it is. If anything, well, we'll see later on when the cash market opens, but if anything in the short term here, this looks soft, and we could even see it sort of roll over this morning, but I'd rather wait for the cash market to open on that. I'm just really looking at the bigger picture. And well, if this bar could hold, maybe we will see a continuation later on, but it is very fickle at the moment. That's pretty much it from me. I wish you a great day, and I'll speak to you in the morrow. Bye for now.